Hello, and welcome back to Fem Life. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. 2 lucky winners get to spend 1 hour on video chat with me. My name is Sarah, and I'm not supposed to talk about this. I've never told anyone, not even my best friend, but there's this thing my brother does that I just can't shake off. It's like a secret that's slowly eating away at me, and I don't know what to do with it anymore. I've tried to forget, I've tried to pretend it never happened, but every time I see him in his room, with those shoes and that makeup, I can't help but wonder. My brother's name is David, but everyone calls him Davy. He's 4 years older than me, and we've always been close. We used to share a room until I was about 10, and even then, we would still hang out together. He was always the one who would teach me how to ride a bike or throw a football. He was my hero. But then, when I was 13, everything changed. I was home alone one afternoon, and I heard a strange noise coming from Davy's room. It sounded like something was rustling around in his closet. I crept closer, my heart pounding in my chest, and peeked inside. And there he was. There was no other way to say it, my brother was wearing my tampons. He had taken them out of their box, and was carefully arranging them on his bedspread, like they were some precious treasure. He had even put on some of my underwear and a pair of my socks. It was like he was trying to become me, or something. I couldn't believe my eyes. I stood there, frozen in shock, watching him for what felt like hours, wondering what in the world was going on. I wanted to confront him, to ask him what was going on, but I just couldn't. I felt like if I said anything, it would ruin everything. So instead, I left his room and closed the door, and I didn't say a word about it. I told myself it was just a phase, that he'd grow out of it. But deep down, I knew something wasn't right. Time passed, and the incidents grew more frequent. I would come home from school and find him wearing my clothes, or using my makeup. Sometimes he'd even put on my shoes and dance around the room, like he was some sort of deranged ballerina. It was surreal and terrifying, and I had no idea what to do with these feelings. I tried to confront him, to talk to him about it, but he would always get defensive, or change the subject. He insisted that it wasn't a big deal, that he was just experimenting, that it didn't mean anything. But the look in his eyes, the way he acted, it felt like there was more to it than that. And I couldn't shake the feeling that if I didn't do something soon, this secret would consume us both. So I did what any self-respecting teenager would do, I turned to the internet for answers. I searched for articles on crossdressing, forums where people could share their stories. I read everything I could get my hands on, trying to understand what was going on with my brother, and more importantly, how to help him. And then, one day, I stumbled upon a support group for crossdressers. It was like a light switch had been flipped on in my head. These people, they were just like my brother, and they were all so happy, so content with who they were. They didn't see themselves as freaks or outcasts, they saw themselves as beautiful, unique individuals. I printed out some articles and forum posts for him, hoping that he would understand. But he just threw them across the room, calling me a freak and a pervert. I was heartbroken, but I knew I had to keep trying. I couldn't give up on him. Time passed, and I slowly started to accept what was happening. I tried to be there for my brother, to support him in any way I could. I even started borrowing some of his clothes and makeup, wearing it around the house when he was at school. It felt strange at first, but after a while, it started to grow on me. I realized that there was a part of me that enjoyed it too. We never really talked about it, not directly. But we both knew that we were there for each other, that we understood each other in a way that no one else could. And maybe that's all that really mattered. Maybe it didn't have to be a big deal, as long as we were both happy.